Peace to the tribe. Welcome to the channel. Now, just a little background for me. My name is Sadowski Romello, and on this channel we'll be covering a lot of insight, a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, and it's pretty much going to be a whole development channel. We're going to help you develop yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and of course financially. Each video is going to break down the psychological aspect and an approach to set a foundation for growth. In this video, we're going to cover simply vices. What are vices? Vices is what have a hold over us that limits our potential and limits our growth. Vices such as guilty pleasures, vices such as dopamine hits that doesn't really align with constructive behavior. Certain vices that I've been able to conquer were smoking, was going out, was drinking. By smoking, I mean smoking weed. Drinking, going out, partying, doing these things that doesn't attribute to growth. How have I been able to conquer these vices? Through time and simply dedication, and a lot of prayer. One of the hardest things for me was smoking. Going out was simple. I wanted to save money and I wanted to save time. Going out was very simple for me to conquer just because the environment that I was doing wasn't conducive towards what I was aiming to do. Hearing the same music, seeing the same girls or the same type of girls, same type of environment, I didn't see necessarily like a reason for me to be outside. Now, if you still go outside and you're getting your money and you're networking, cool. But if you're not seeing the return on investment by going out, spending money on outfits, spending money on club hopping, spending money on drinks, and your whole objective is going out to chase women. Now, this channel is mainly aimed towards men, but it's all applicable. If you're going out to chase men as women, and you're not seeing that return on investment, all that time and energy could be aimed towards something better. Aimed towards something that's constructive, that's beneficial towards you and your spirit. I think nowadays we spend so much time feeding the flesh that we overlook what we could be attributing spiritually. So with that being said, just think about the environment when you go out. It's a lot of low frequency people, a lot of low frequency music, alcohol, just the environment is you're just consumed in low vibration. And when you leave there, you then seem to carry that low vibration with you. Now, granted, it does feel good. Matter of fact, it feels great when you're drunk and you're socializing, everybody around you is drunk and the music is vibrant and the vibe is immaculate. You're smoking your weed, you're smoking your hookah. I've done that. I've been there. I am now able to say that it's redundant. I'm not able to detach myself from that and then say it was a waste of time. Also, the environments wasn't beneficial at all. Like, I would network with people, I would get girls, I would do this, and the women that I wanted to keep wasn't aligned with those women that was outside. Now, granted, there was some ones that I ran across that I was able to keep in rotation. I was able to build a relationship on. I just didn't see anything long term. And when you move like that, and it's just night and tonight and one night stands and 3-week situationships, a couple month situationships, that's all fun. Don't get me wrong. It can be a stress reliever getting that off. Don't get me wrong. But where's the growth? What are you really gaining from it? Are you teaching each other something? Are you growing each other? Are you mastering yourself in that moment, in those moments? And the answer is typically no. So what you do instead, you simply keep your vision focused. You align yourself with your habits that you see yourself being as your highest self. When you're operating in that highest vibration, what are you doing? You're not going out. You're not wasting time. You're not spending money on unnecessary things. You're instead investing money and investing time within yourself. You're feeding the spirit. So when I was smoke weed, yeah, I'll be thinking smoking weed would be beneficial because it would be simply me taking time out to then do mindfulness. Right? That would be like my psychological trick. Like I'm practicing mindfulness because I'm smoking weed and I'm thinking to myself or I'm listening to music. A lot of the times I was wrong. I was simply lying to myself. I was simply telling myself these things for me to keep doing it. Now, leave a like, comment, however you want to do it if you agree with what I'm saying. If you find yourself going down this rabbit hole of saying, I'm doing this and I'm making excuses to why I should be doing this, but deep down, consciously, I know I shouldn't be doing this. Now, that could be watching porn, that could be binge watching, it could be scrolling on IG, reels, and shorts and things of that nature. And you know it's not constructive. You know it's not aiming towards nothing that's going to say, I'm glad I did this later on. So when I smoke weed, of course it'll feel immaculate. I'll have the vibes going, have Larry June playing, have some Pluto playing, have some trash, whoever I'm listening to at the time, I'm playing. And I'm with my friends that's also doing the same thing. But deep down, consciously, I just feel like I'm not doing anything conductive. Like I'm not building on anything while I'm here. Like we can sit down and smoke weed. First of all, the process of smoking weed, right? If you don't have it in abundance, you have to go out, find somebody that does. That takes time, you gotta buy it. That takes money. That also takes energy. Then if you don't have enough money, like in high school, a lot of us, we just put $5 on it, $10 on it, whatever. That used to be enough for 4 or 5 people to have enough weed. Nowadays, you need a lot to just get a little high. The weed has changed. You know, I sound old when I say this, but I was there to witness from 2015 to 2025. In 10 years, the weed has definitely changed. It used to be 5 people on one blunt and we'll all be straight. We'll all be, and it'll last longer than 30 minutes. Nowadays, you smoke one by yourself and you just be high for 30, 45 minutes. And it's not like it's like, right? It's not, to me, it's not beneficial. I'd rather work out, go for a run for that 30 minutes, listen to a podcast, listen to an audiobook now, right? But let's talk about back then. So where I was, we'll go out, we'll spend the money on the weed. Then we'll spend the money on the cigars, on the backwood, on the Rillo, on papers, however we'll want to consume this weed. Then we'll have to find a spot, a safe spot. And during that time, you're super paranoid because number one, you're riding around with an illegal substance. Number two, you don't know if this person that you're buying it from is safe. Like every single time, like you taking that chance of saying, okay, I'm about to go buy this, purchase this. I don't know if the cops are on him or her. I don't know who's watching us. It could be somebody that just want to hit a lick. So you taking these unnecessary chances off the rip. Then you go into a place, we used to hotbox a lot, right? Or smoke in a vacant apartment. Like we were young and dumb. So we'll find a spot that we will associate with safety. Not knowing in any given second that safety could be ended and our lives can be changed in any situation at any given time. So we'll sit back and we'll smoke. After that, once the last blunt is done, some of my friends will disappear. And I wouldn't hear from them until the next month is up. They wouldn't call to check on me. I'll be going through probably some financial troubles, some mental troubles, some spiritual troubles, how to get better. And they probably had their own battles that they were facing. So us smoking, well, for me, smoking was a sense of escapement, a sense of therapy as well, because I'll be with people that's doing the same thing. We'll sit back and laugh, and we'll forget about our troubles. Now, with that being said, that's a temporary fix. That's not nothing that's going to say I can build upon this, because as I smoke and I leave, and all of a sudden those problems and those troubles are still there, and all of a sudden I need to smoke again so I can add the smoke and mirrors, so I don't see the reality of it, right? And all of a sudden that I become dependent on that, because instead of facing my troubles and my problems head on, where no matter what these problems may be, it could be subconscious, it could be insecurities, it could be relationships, it could be a lot of things. I'm just about to go smoke. Instead of facing these problems head on, I'll rely on a substance for me to put a band-aid over it. Now, we all know band-aids are not permanent fixes, right? So with that being said, I started to detach myself from the problems. And the problems will then still be there, but I started to detach myself and align myself with these unnecessary, or what I thought was necessary, solutions. And they weren't really solutions once you clear out the smoke and mirrors. So going out was one of my solutions. Smoking weed was for sure one of my solutions. Drinking, even though I wasn't a heavy drinker, I was a social drinker. And being around people that was socially drinking with me, it felt like therapy. It felt like we forget about all our problems, and then we can all just have a good time at that moment. And that's what drinking does. It puts you in that moment. So you're not worrying about the consequences of later. You're not thinking about tomorrow, right? You could have an important job interview, an important test. Let me smoke this weed. Let me drink. Let me go out and just think about today. I'm not stressing about tomorrow. And all of a sudden, instead of putting our mind in a space to where we're creating a strategy, we're creating a game plan to attack tomorrow, we are taking a step back for us to say, tomorrow come when it comes. Let's just think about today. In hindsight, we can see how dangerous that is. Because if you're not prepared, then what are you when you're there? If you're not prepared, you're prepared to fail. So, as time goes, and I'm smoking every single day. I'm waking up smoking. Then I started to go to the gym, right? Started to go to the gym a little bit more. Smoke before I go to the gym. Smoking after I go to the gym. I'm smoking when I go to sleep. And it's the same thing every single day, to where I get to the gym and I'm sweating it all out. Like, once I get there, I'm like, well, that was no point. It was no point for me to sit there and smoke. On top of that, afterwards, it would be like my body would become dependent on this recovery, which a lot of athletes use weed as a recovery. But I wasn't doing so. My body would become dependent, my muscles, my mind would become dependent on this substance for that recovery. So as I'm growing and I'm telling myself, I'm about to go to the gym, I need to smoke before I go to the gym so I get my mind involved. Or if I'm about to go out, I need to smoke before I go out. If I'm about to eat, I need to smoke before I eat. So that dependence started to grow and grow. Instead of being dependent on myself, I started being dependent on the substance. And this substance, it's a process of getting it, as I went over before. It's a process it's an illegal substance, number one, and number two, I gotta spend money, time, and energy and my resources to get it, for me to fill this void that I thought I had. So I started doing some deep diving into why I smoke, number one. Also, to be honest with you guys, exercising and spending my time doing better things as exercising, reading, meditating, those type of things, going out without weed sometimes, going to the gym without weed sometimes, I started to break that attachment to it. I started to break that bridge to it. And as more and more I got on, my mind started to see, okay, I'm not dependent on this substance. Every time I wake up, I'm wanting to smoke. And it was tough. Believe me, it was tough. It was so bad that I was actually having withdrawals from weed. Now, people say weed isn't an addictive substance. I think anything can be addictive. Sugar can be addictive. TV can be addictive. A person can be addictive. If it's filling this void that we think that we're missing, and it's hitting this dopamine that's filling our cup, we can easily become dependent on this, no matter what it is. It could be a music. It could be healthy or non-healthy. I think anything can be addictive. And another thing that helped me was fasting. During Ramadan, I fast. Now, I don't associate and I don't subscribe to any one religion. I have a cross around my neck. I practice certain traits and certain characteristics and religious practices of Islam. I think there's beneficial practices in both Islam and Christianity and Buddhism, and there's a lot that we can take and apply for ourselves across the board. Now, no one religion is perfect, but I think if we have enough of knowledge of each one, we could take and learn from each one and just apply what needs to be applied. So with Ramadan and having that holy month of fasting, you then detach yourself from a lot of substances during a certain amount of time. Now, it could be sex, it could be porn, it could be water, food, any of these things that you think to yourself, I need. So that's why fasting was a huge point for me. Meditation, which I think every religion practices meditation, which was super important to me. Reading, I always kept a book on me, was super important to me. And just wanting to be and do better. I think that was the main thing for me, was wanting to be better. I see so much of us feeling and being stuck because of our habits and our vices that has a hold over us, like literally have a hold over us, to where we can't do a certain action without performing this certain act. That is that has power over us, and we don't acknowledge it. And if we do acknowledge it, we don't approach it in a way to we want to show growth. We just say, yeah, I smoke every day. Oh yeah, I drink all the time. Or yeah, I love having sex. And it's not like it becomes part of our character. And we see it so glamorized in social media, in the world, that it's looked upon, it's not frowned upon when it comes to our day-to-day lives. Like, these are the world-known celebrities that's performing these, and TV stars and moguls like a Snoop and all these people, and Future and all these guys. It's not like, in reality, we can see these guys and how they perform in their day-to-day lives. And how does that connect with us, right? What are they doing spiritually for them to keep going? I know weed is just not it. I know it shouldn't be. Like Snoop, he's a huge family man. So when we substitute weed or alcohol for family, or weed and alcohol for religion, that becomes our God in a sense. Like, we start worshiping these things. We start being dependent on these things instead of being dependent on God, instead of be dependent on stuff that feeds our spirit. So when I say cut the vices, it's simply cutting bad habits out. And if you truly want to grow and do better and live better, have a better life, have a better environment, have better relationships, the number one relationship has to start with yourself. Whether you believe in God or not, the number one relationship has to start with yourself. And to grow the relationship with yourself is cutting out these substances so you can actually get to know yourself. I think there's multiple dimensions that each person lives in. There's a higher vibration, lower vibration, and our shadow self. Now, our higher vibrations, when we exercising, when we're socializing, when we're eating healthy, when we're having sunlight, when we're having these daily practices of meditation and reading, and you know it's all constructive, our energy is vibrant, it's electric, it's attractive, and the socializing, it's all these different aspects of high vibration. I know you could think of a high vibrational individual that anytime you see them, they have a smile on their face, and you have a smile for seeing them, right? Then you have our lower self. Our lower self is when we operate out of these vices. Our lower self is when we operate out of shame. We operate because we watch porn, or because we smoke when we said we didn't. We wasn't. When we're drinking, and we have regret, or we have jealousy, or we have envy. So these are low vibrational characteristics, right? And then we go out into the world, and it shows. Like, it literally shows when you're faking confidence or we're faking happiness. And in the back of our mind, or in our mind, is nothing but shame and guilt. Like, it literally shows, right? And then you start to attract people that's enwrapped in the same consciousness as yours, trapped in that same dimension as you. And then we have our shadow self. Our shadow self is the one person that we're alone with when no one else is around. And what you do in the dark comes to the light. So if you're performing these acts and what you're portraying, this image, that shadow self will start to show in your public life, if that makes sense. That shadow self performs in ways where it's locked into your subconscious mind. It's something that your subconscious mind is associated with. So even though you're not consciously performing habits, your subconscious mind is telling you, hey, this is who we are, right? So you start to operate like that person, right? And you start to attract those type of people. So you may be thinking, why I keep attracting these certain type of women, or why I keep attracting these certain type of men, or why, things aren't going in my favor. Is because you're not working on yourself completely. So when I got alone and I started to see my lustful habits, my distasteful habits, watching porn, smoking weed, why I was doing these things, when I was doing these things, and not only that, how can I be better? So when I started to really practice meditation, really practice that self-talk, and say I don't need these things, I can honestly say I haven't smoked in nearly 2 years. I haven't had a drink in nearly 2 years. The last demon for me to face and for me to conquer was simply lust. Lusting over women, having relationships built off lust, not having that connection. I can literally say, like, I've experienced growth. I experienced happier, better relationships within myself, number one. Number two, I've experienced healthier relationships with the people that surround me. And that, for me alone, feeds my spirit. It helps me build on that. It helps me build on that. Now the relationships that I had when I was smoking and drinking and going out, all that's out the window. All I want to know is, how can I grow? All I want to know is, how can I grow? And if you're not helping me grow, you're not in my circle. You are not associated with me. I'm not spending too much time with you. I may have a cordial conversation, but even that cordial conversation could be dropping my frequency down. I don't want to be there. I want to be here. I want to be operating here. I want to go to the gym. I want to be reading. I want to learn about money. I want to learn about stocks. I want to learn about investing. I want to learn about trading. I want to learn about knowledge. And more importantly, knowledge of self. So as I grow, I know the people that I'm attracting are also growing. So when I go out and people are associated with me, I have this vibrant and attractive spirit. People start coming to me and start speaking to me. No matter how my day is going, I could just be having a piss poor day. You know what I mean? Nothing has technically gone my way, but there's a lesson and a blessing in any situation. Right? I have to grow to know that. These people coming to me, speaking to me, that gives me a certain type of energy, like I'm okay. Like I'm okay. And I don't need those vices for me to feel okay. Right? So this conversation, I hope it helps you guys out. I hope you can really learn from it and apply it yourself. Understand why you're depending on these vices. What can you do to detach yourself from these vices, from these environments? What can you do to be better and be a better version, be the best version of yourself? And it starts with your daily habits, your daily practice. Go for a walk, get some sunlight, learn something, talk to somebody new, speak to at least 5 different people a day. Like really get out of that mindset that you're trapped and you're stuck. And then you'll start to see energy flows. Where attention goes, energy flows. And as you insist on growing yourself and knowing yourself, you attach people that's also doing the same, and they can give you some insight. They can point you to a book that helped them a lot. I have a book list I'm gonna drop. They also can point you to podcasts or interviews and authors and different types of practices that they use. It could be 10 minutes of meditation every morning. It could be 10 minutes of meditation every night. Even having a morning and nightly routine, a daily structured schedule, something that I'm working on myself. A structured schedule to keep you in balance with your highest self. Like, I'm going to perform this act in the morning. I'm going to perform this act in the afternoon. By 3 o'clock, I want to be doing this. By 8 o'clock, I want to be doing this. By 9:30, I want to be in the bed. Creating this disciplined program, now you can retrain your subconscious mind. And instead of saying that we operate like this when you were operating at this level, now we're operating at this. Now your subconscious mind is starting to attach you with success. Now you start to believe in yourself even more. Now that confidence starts to go. Now that God body is starting to show, right? Now you are walking out in public with your chin up, chest out, stomach in, shoulders back. And you really start to embody that spirit of growth and that God body energy. So this was how to cut the vices. Let's focus on growth with this channel. DM me if you need any assistance or you want to talk 1v1. I'm here. Let's grow together. Let's get to know ourselves a lot more. 2025 is gonna be, if it's not a lesson to you, it's gonna be a blessing to you. If it's not a lesson to you, it's gonna be a blessing to you. Peace to the tribe.